Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for what is another episode of our Arsenal news show, joining you every single morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. It's Friday. You've made it to the end of the week. Congratulations. Fantastic stuff. I can't wait to get, rid of this week and into the weekend and get stuck in some Premier League action, of course, with plenty of games to discuss, plenty of games to talk about this weekend. And most importantly, of course, the Arsenal game. Arsenal take on Sheffield United in the Premier League on Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. kickoff, which does mean that there is going to be a relatively strong amount of people that won't be able to watch the game, sadly. But yeah, it's very exciting still to be able to go. And for those that are going to be there, I look forward to joining you. Good morning for everybody that is tuning in the live chat box. Lars, Blackshine, Femi, Steve, Gooner, Jake. Good morning to Paul and Red Star and Brad. Good morning to Anne, Damien, Maximius. Good morning to Stephen, NSW, Josh, Olawale, Louis, Stevie, Kim, Stephen, Arsenal for Life, Glenn, Martin, and so many more of you guys as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It means the absolute world that you do so. So if you could drop a like, if you could subscribe, that would mean a hell of a lot. So slightly shorter show today because I'm heading into the office and I've got to catch a train. So it's going to be a condensed and quick stop view through the news before we have a quick stop view through your questions in part 2. So without further ado, let's jump into today's stories. First of all, if you want to get some more Arsenal content and TGT content from me and Dr. Raj, you can, because we did an Eat, Sleep, Arsenal, Repeat podcast last night. We talked about whether Ødegaard is what we describe as the new Saka. What do we mean by that? Well, somebody that's just continuously playing, and is that affecting their form? We discussed that. We talk about Sheffield United and plenty more as well. So do make sure you go back and give that a listen. It's the last upload on the channel. There is some nightmare December fixture chaos for Arsenal, sadly. Obviously, we kind of wait on the edge of our seats, don't we, to find out when certain games will be, because as travelling fans, they want to know, but also as our own personal commitments, we want to know when games are. So we got 7 games in December that have been moved, and January as well, start of January. Let me talk about that with you. Our visit to Kenilworth Road, that's the word, to face Luton Town on Tuesday, December 5th, will now kick off 30 minutes later at 8:15 and be shown on Amazon, so that's annoying. The following game to Aston Villa on Saturday, December 9th, has been moved from a 3 p.m. to a 5 p.m. kickoff and will be shown on Sky Sports. It's annoying when they move it later. Like, you got to go to Birmingham. I'm probably going to have to stay in Birmingham now. Our home game against Brighton and Hove Albion has been moved from Saturday, December 16th to Sunday, December 17th, and moved to a 2 p.m. kickoff. That's not too bad. That's quite good, actually. And this is due to the Seagulls Europa League requirements and will not be shown on TV, even though it's a 2 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday. Frustrating. The trip to Anfield to tackle Liverpool on Saturday has now been moved to a 5:30 p.m. kickoff instead of a 3 p.m. kickoff on December 23rd. Yes, 2 days before Christmas, fans are expected to go up to London on the 23rd of December and get back after that game, which is surely going to finish around 7:30. You then got to get to the station, which from Liverpool is a challenge. Trust me, I've done it. In that type of traffic, in that period where there's Christmas markets and things are shut down and trains aren't as regular, that's going to be absolutely chaotic for supporting fans. I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to go to that game. I might be covering it from home, so we'll have to wait and see. The game against West Ham United, previously scheduled for Boxing Day, has now been moved to 8:15 Thursday, December 28th. It'll be shown on Amazon. And our visit to Craven Cottage to take on Fulham has been moved from Saturday, December 30th to Sunday, December 31st. And it will kick off at 2 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Hopefully that's not too bad, but trying to get back from London on New Year's Eve when everyone's running up there for the Christmas lights and the clock counting down could be very interesting indeed. But we'll wait and see, I guess. And finally, our home game against Crystal Palace has been moved back 1 week as part of the Premier League's winter break. It was scheduled for 3 p.m. on Saturday, January 13th, but it will now take place at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, January 20th, and be shown on TNT Sports. They will broadcast the selections for the match round 22, January 30 and 31st. It will be announced with the February broadcasts. So there you go. A lot of chaos, a lot of changes, a lot of differences, and very, very frustrating indeed for a lot of supporters. Apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal turned down an approach from Inter Milan for Tomiyasu in July. Arsenal have plenty of faith in the Japanese international that he is going to be a key part of this squad. And I think from the appearances that we've seen this season, we can absolutely support that idea. I'm very glad that they didn't decide to sell Tomiyasu because he has been a very good part of this squad this season. One of the standout performers, I would suggest, of the squad this season as well. So Arsenal turning down an approach from Inter Milan. Clearly, there is plenty of interest growing in Arsenal's players, not just the starting ones, but the ones that are rotating with the starters too. Now, Gabriel Jesus, frustratingly, according to Ihsan Khan of the Daily Mail, has missed Arsenal's training session yesterday. Now, we'll have to wait and see whether or not he trains today. There's expectations of a result of another scan coming through today. So we'll find out what the latest is regarding his hamstring injury. He himself was fairly confident it would only be minor, as he spoke to the press after the game against Sevilla on Tuesday night. But after coming back on Wednesday and then having that recovery day, he didn't train on Thursday. So there is a chance he could yet miss the game against Sheffield United. They may choose to just rest him and, give him time to recover and not risk further injury. It might be better that we start Havertz or Trossard or Nketiah in that centre-forward position. I think if it was me, I'd either start Havertz or I'd start Trossard at centre-forward and go from there. I think that would be the best option for Arsenal in this game this weekend. But we will hear from Mikel Arteta in his press conference a little bit later on today, early afternoon. You'll be hearing from the manager. You'll be able to get all the updates if you're not able to watch it on Football.London's live blog, which I'll be running alongside Kai Karnak. And of course, you'll also be able to watch all of that back as well on the Arsenal Way. So please make sure that you go and subscribe over there because we're very close to 100k. So go help us. If there's 400 of you watching here, I'm sure a fair amount of you are subscribed already to the Arsenal Way. But if you're not, go over there and help us towards 100k. It would mean the absolute world. But we'll hear from Mikel Arteta. I did do a little of a tongue-in-cheek prediction of what he might say. Reporter asks, what's the latest on Jesus? Arteta says, well, we've got one more training session, so I think we'll have to wait and see how he responds to it. I think that's probably what we're going to get, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. You can never guarantee to get the answers that you want from the manager. But I tell you what, you can guarantee safety and security if you've got NordVPN, and only if you've got NordVPN. And that's why I'm giving you that ability to get NordVPN by going to nordvpn.com/Gooner to get yourself a significant discount off a 2-year plan and some extra months thrown in with the deal as well. I recommend that you do this ASAP. You don't want to be, assuming that you're going to be fine for the next game like Gabriel Jesus might have done. And then you find out that a scan comes back and all of a sudden you can't watch those games in other countries because rules or silly litigations. I don't even know if I'm using the right words now. But certainly what you can do is that you can strap on a selection of NordVPN's fantastic selections. I don't know where I'm going with this one. But you can get yourself hold of a fantastic product which is going to give you the ability to change your geolocation on your laptop, your tablet, or your phone. Any of these things. I almost went into a Manscaped advert there. That would have been ridiculous. But certainly NordVPN is going to give you that ability to do that. It gives you your ad blockers, your trackers, your tracker blockers, things like that. Those things that are called cookies that sound so innocent. But if they were called trackers, which is basically what they are, you wouldn't want to see them so much in your lives, would you? If it said accept all trackers. No, I don't want to do that. But it says accept all cookies. And then I click it and I'm like, where's the cookies? Give me the cookies. Well, I'm on a diet, so I can't have them. But you know what I mean. I've gone off on a little bit of a wild one with this one. But but please do get involved if you haven't done so already. That's nordvpn.com/Gooner. And if you don't like the service for whatever reason, you can get a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. Who can say any fairer than that? Right. Let's go to part 2 and a very quick round of Q&A right after this. Okay, let's jump into the chat box, shall we, and tackle as many of your questions as we can. Let's go to Daniel says, are we playing Brentford next week? I don't know why I thought it was Newcastle. Matches, we are playing Newcastle next week. We play them on Saturday, November 4th. You even confused me then. We don't play Brentford until Saturday 25th. That's after the next international break. So we've got West Ham in midweek. We've obviously got Sheffield United this weekend, West Ham on the Wednesday, and then the following Saturday we travel up to Newcastle for that game. So Yes, certainly. There's no confusion now about who we are playing. Temi says prime KDB or prime Erdegaard. Prime KDB, obviously, he's a better player and certainly more established. This sort of question obviously spawns from discussions about what the whole, taking the grain by the scruff of the neck. That's what some people apparently want Erdegaard to do. And I don't really know what that means, because I can't personally remember when Man City were under the cosh, Kevin De Bruyne grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, as I would define it, and tearing them back into it. Some people were like, well, what about Real Madrid when he scored? And I was like, well, he's picked up the ball and shot from long range and scored, and I get that. But that's one moment. I don't think that's like individually grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and throwing it back in the other direction. It's a goal. And Ødegaard has done that. We did that earlier this season against Man United when we went a goal down, and then all of a sudden, who's back there scoring straight away? Ødegaard. So if that's what that is, then he's done that. I don't think that's what people mean. And I don't think that's what Ødegaard is. I think he's an elevator. I think he's a catalyst. I think some people would, I think it's more derogatory to say it this way, but he's like a luxury player, some people would say. And I think that's more harsh than anything. I think he's a great, fantastic, world-class level player that is without a doubt, deserving of starting for this team. But maybe he needs a little bit of time away just to refocus. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the team on Saturday, and we'll see how Ødegaard performs. One of the worst things I got, I'd write a right little debate yesterday on social media on my other laptop, so I can't go onto my personal account. But if I go here on my phone, it was such a silly thing. Like, it's one of my least favorite things in the world when you get into these types of debates, because the person replying to me was like, I said about Ødegaard, and I did a piece on like why Arsenal haven't looked as good in attack so far this season as they did last season. I said it's kind of like, it's really staring us in the face, with the answer being we've not had our starting front three for quite a long amount of time. To which they said, or it's because Ødegaard has just been so poor. And I was like, what, all season? To which they were like, pretty much. He's supposed to be one of the people making things tick. So it's no coincidence that we're not flying in attack like we were last year. And I was like, what do you mean pretty much all season? Are we just discounting the performances against Forest, Palace, United, Everton, PSV and Bournemouth then? He says Bournemouth and PSV are dreadful. And this is this argument that, like, if you go up against a team that didn't have a great display, it's like you can't count that. It's just like you can't talk about that. It was easy, that game, so I can't give them any credit. Have you ever thought that maybe they were dreadful because we made them dreadful by the way that we played, and maybe Ødegaard's performance in that dreadful opposition display was a lot to do with what Ødegaard did in those games? It's like, no, can't talk about those games, can't use those games, the opposition were bad. Or it's like, no, can't talk about that player, he plays in a bad league, so it doesn't count. It's the most ridiculous thing you will ever hear on the airways. Anyway, I'm taking up a long section of this quick Q&A. Jones says, any update on Partey? No, not at the moment, mate, I'm afraid. We'll hear from Mikel Arteta today in his press conference on that. And Matt says, Tom, do you think that there's any truth in the rumours that Partey is unhappy with his lack of playing time? I saw this yesterday, and, fair play for Jason Suter doing this story and, being very clever with his tweet, which he left a little follow-up tweet underneath saying, oh, this is quite funny considering he's not played. I'm like, yeah, but that wasn't the original tweet, was it? But it was very clever the way he did it. You got to respect it. But it's a report, I think, that comes from Italy suggesting that Partey's not happy with his lack of game time. Clearly, they've not done the research and realised that he's not been playing because he's had, a number of injuries. I think it's just one of those salt shaker pieces, if you like. Maximir says, hey, Tom, can we sincerely hope to rest some of our key players against Sheffield United? Surely we can use this match as a rest option for some of them and bring them on after 60. I don't think so. It's a Premier League game. Every game is tough in their own right. We've got a game against West Ham in the Carabao Cup in midweek. Rest players for that one if you want to. But we need to make sure we pick up 3 points. Win the games that you need to win. Why take a chance when you can take no chance at all, is what I would say. So there you go. Chris says, Tom, what's your favourite ever Arsenal player? Mine is Ian Wright. My favourite ever Arsenal player is Santi Cazorla. And I know that probably shows my age a little bit more. But, I just love Santi Cazorla. Just think he's just gloriously good. And that's why if I never, ever got a Santi Cazorla shirt this season, I got a Santi Cazorla shirt because he's gone back to play for Real Oviedo for minimum wage, which I know for a footballer is not the same kind of, it makes it sound a lot better than it is, I'm sure. But he's playing for the absolute minimum that a footballer is allowed to earn at that kind of level. And he's gone to play back for his youth side, which I think is amazing. So, yeah, I went and got myself one of those shirts, as you've seen me wear on the channel a number of times. And says playing awful teams is why Spurs are top of the league. Discounting poor teams is only an Arsenal thing. Ashish says, what position is ideal for us to be in by the end of December to make some crucial signings in January? Top. Surely top. If we are top, we might not sign big players. Better to be in second position. Also, do you think we have the budget? I think Ashish, you're thinking too hard on this one, mate. I don't think it's anything to do. I don't think it matters where we are in the league. We will absolutely be doing what we need to do, or trying to, within the budget. And the budget is the bigger question. I don't know how much money Arsenal have, and that is a bit of that's a bit of a tough one, because we just don't know how much money Arsenal really are able to get their hands on for this window coming up. And the Raya deal was a lot to do with FFP. That's why we signed him on loan. So I don't know what we're going to be able to do in January. We're going to have to wait and see. Phil says, Tom, give us your all-time Premier League 11. Oh, yeah. In my shorter show where I've got like 2 minutes left, I've now got to go through an all-time Premier League 11. Can we do it in 2 minutes? I'm going to make myself look so stupid because I'm going to forget people. Right. Here we go. We're going to go Petr Cech in goal. We're going to go at right back, Kyle Walker. I'm going to go at right back. At centre back, I'm going to go Vidic and Sol Campbell. No, Tony Adams. Sol Campbell, Tony Adams. Vidic. I mean, Ferdinand's probably better. See, I can't do this in 2 minutes. I'm going to go Ferdinand and Sol Campbell for my back two, which I know people are going to disagree with and think, what on earth? Vincent Kompany, Van Dijk. Oh, my days. This is hard. Ferdinand and Van Dijk at centre-back. Sorry, guys. Left back is Ashley Cole. Defensive midfield is Rodri. Alongside him, Patrick Vieira. I'm going to go right wing. Mo Salah, I think. Yeah, Mo Salah on the right. On the left, it's going to have to be, for me, I just love Robert Pires. But there's, I could choose a lot of others. I'm going to go Robert Pires on the left. Thierry Henry up front with Didier Drogba. I don't like him, but I think I've probably got to do it. I've probably forgotten a lot of crazy options as well. But there you go. A 2 minutes best 11, which I've probably forgotten. Ronaldo, I've forgotten about. Kane, I've probably forgotten about. I can't pick Spurs players. It's just not allowed. Anyway, tell me how silly I am. Try and do your own 2 minute Premier League all-time 11, because I've probably annoyed people. They're like, how can you not pick him? How can you not pick him? Well, I've had 2 minutes to think about it, so that's why. If I had 10, I'd have got a much more refined 11. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Really appreciate your time. I haven't got De Bruyne in there either, I haven't got Aguero in there. Madness. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. I will be back tomorrow morning from a different location. In fact, I'll be doing this from Highbury's ground, believe it or not. So Highbury's ground, that's not even the right Highbury Stadium I'll be doing it from. Arsenal's old ground, of course. So yeah, tune in for that one. It's going to be exciting. Thank you for everyone listening. I'll see you again very soon. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe, stay well, and as always, up the Arsenal.